right, man. Cheers.
Cheers.
Who were you fucking last night? Like, that's how it was. Like, so in her mind, it wasn't even about the gambling. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't even about the gambling.
I was hella insecure.
Really? Cave in? No.
Oh, yeah, because we're always going to allow you to be the man, definitely in public and in private, but we're going to have these conversations in private. It's not for anybody else to know.
There's always a way to test somebody if you want to find out who they really are.
You are now listening to the Men Don't Know podcast.
Cool, back, man.
Back.
Welcome to the Men Don't Know podcast. I am the man of many friends, your host and creator, Chris Boone. And here on the podcast, we talk with a married guy, a single guy, and a guy in a relationship. And we ask a bunch of women questions that men want answered to over wine and cocktails. Cool. First, I want to thank everybody for listening. Everybody that's championing on, all the new listeners listening right now. Everybody that's just hopping around the podcast and figuring out what you like to listen to during quarantine season and starting debates at the house and texting your friends. I get all those, and I appreciate everybody for listening. I am sending merch out this week. Post office is nuts, though, Coy. That was a 45-minute wait.
What?
Bruh, the line was wrapped around and outside, so I think I'm gonna have to pull a Black Friday.
You can tip the guy in the front. Cut in front.
Hey, there was no VIP. There was no guy with the.
There was no bottle service.
Nah, no guy with the clipboard up at the front. Hey, bro, I would have slipped him a 20 real
like the
quick.
DMV then, huh?
Yeah, but man, I want to thank everybody for listening. I really can't thank y'all enough, man. It's growing organically. Plenty of people have started hitting me up that are new listeners, and they hear about it from somebody else, or they see a hat walking around, and that's what it's all about, guys. Like, opening lines of communication. I feel like what we do less now is talk to each other. It's more of text. So let's get back at it. Coy, question of the day.
What's that?
All right. Okay, in a breakup, who gets the pet? Who gets the dog? Who gets the pet?
Ooh.
In a breakup?
It's usually a dog, maybe a cat.
Mm-hmm.
Who paid for that thing?
I mean, it doesn't matter. You and the girl got it after y'all moved into a place together.
If we moved into a place together, things should have been going good already. Like, their breakup shouldn't even have been in the picture if you're ready to move in with somebody.
Hey.
So in my eyes,
Yeah.
there is no breakup. We're in this together. Come on. If you're giving me that scenario where you've already lived together, you're already established.
Yeah, right. I hear you. But things happen.
Things happen.
Yeah.
Pet is no joke.
Nah, man. Man's best friend.
That's why I don't recommend pets to anybody.
You can't do that.
You got to say goodbye to them. They're not saying goodbye to you.
Coy, you can't.
It's not like a kid.
I know.
It's not like a kid that's going to bury you.
All right. Man, I mean, okay, John Q.
But yeah, man's best friend.
Yeah, man's best friend. I am legend.
But
okay,
girls got love
John Wick.
Girls got love for dogs too. You know?
I hear you.
Who put in the time? Who paid for it? Who put in the time? Who took care of it?
That's
if it's a team thing, then you guys got to have a sit down and talk.
Okay.
Possession is 9/10, so just take the dog on breakup night, and then.
Well, I asked the question on IG.
Okay.
So check this out, bruh. I didn't know it was such a heavy or big topic. I didn't even know it was a thing. Like.
Well, you've never gotten a pet with a girl before. Right?
I was close.
Boy. What happened?
Boy, we was there.
You talked with me, and I talked to you.
Bro, we was there. No, I remember what you said, bro. We were there. We were at the pound, low key. We were at the pound. I guess not the pound, the shelter. We were at the shelter, and bro, it was like a.
She wanted it more.
We had to. She was discussing it, and
she discussed it. You had to drive down there. Somebody had to drive down there. How did that happen?
So we drove down there, and we had talked about it. We drove down there, and it looked like I'm not even gonna lie to you. It looked like a I think it was like a miniature beagle or something. It was like it was just beagle. It was like it was like a it was just a small dog with like flappy ears. And like I came by the cage and I looked at him, he looked at me, and I was like, sit, and he sat, and I was like, oh shit.
Already trained?
Bruh, I was like, who would give this thing up? Like, honestly, the cutest dog. And
probably a couple that just broke up.
Bruh, I'll try to tell you, like, and she was like, oh, we can name it Bentley, and that, you know, and she was, bro, it was close. It was a close one. And, you know, I was like, you know what? Let's take some time. Let's think about it. We'll give it a week. And if the dog is still here, no, I knew that dog wasn't going to be here. We'll come back and, you know, we'll get it. I was like, the thing is, my first thing is like, what if down the line something happens between us? Not that it would.
You don't want to think that, but you have to think.
Yeah, you got to put it in perspective. Like, you know, like the odds are not stacked in your favor. Divorce is not stacked in your favor. You told the animal shelter guy, hey, get rid of this dog. And that was crazy, bro. Came back and it was gone though. So I mean, I unfortunately did not get the dog. And like I said, ex. So, you know, that was my crazy story. So people started hitting me up, bro. I didn't know there's people. One person hit me up and said, fuck the kids, I get the dog. I was like, wow. And then one of my buddies friends was like, hey bro, unfortunately some animals mean more to the parent than the kid. I was like, damn, okay. Then one of my homegirls hits me and she was like, yeah, my man went through it with his ex and they broke up. She wanted a dog, even though he had been paying for it, taking the shots, buying the toys, doing the whole nine. She wanted it. It sounded like a spite thing.
Spite steal.
Yeah. And so, you know, the dog wasn't registered or anything. That's and terrible. So, like, they were fighting for over a year. And then so he goes to get it registered, you know, since he still had the dog. And they go, the dog's already been registered. And he was like, what are you talking about? Nah, like I have the dog, I have the papers, I have everything. She's like, yeah, and it's registered as an emotional support dog. So whatever. So they go to court. The judge deems that it is his dog and needs to be awarded the money of the cost of the dog. But she gets to keep the dog because it's deemed as an emotional support for her and her well-being.
This emotional dog thing.
Second one. Another one. Once again, you know me, bro. Didn't know it was going to be that big of a topic, but, you know, It came out. One of the other homegirls told me, it's like, yeah, one of my best friends, he had got a dog with the girl, and she moved into his place, though. So prior to them getting the dog, she moved in. Even though they went to get the dog together, when it went to get registered and everything, and yada yada yada, the dog's living, I guess, the dog's residence on the paper of his registration said his house, and since he owned the house, you know, solely without her on the paperwork, he got to keep the dog. Luckily,
yeah.
Then, you know, and, you know, one of my other boys hit me. He's like, you know, I was going through everything in my life. That dog, you know, the dog I had with, you know, my ex that I was with, that dog was the only happiness I had through my down times and everything. And when, you know, she knew it was like the John Wick story. Yeah. She knew like that dog was helping me get through my days, and she took him. I was like, damn.
That's bad.
Bruh.
Going back to the second one, so they got a dog before they moved in together.
No. They moved in together, but they got a dog together.
Got the dog when? Before they moved
in?
After
she moved in with him.
Okay. After.
But because the residence of the dog, it was his residency without her name on the paper. He got lucky, bro. No, bro. He got lucky.
But you're saying he got lucky as in the girls always win this battle?
I think so. Let's call a girl and find out. Let's see. How are we doing this? Oh yeah. Okay, let's call Brittany. Where's she? Okay. All right. Let's see if she picks up.
Hello.
What are you up to, Brittany? Oh,
I'm just.
hold on. Let me.
Drive.
Oh, you're in your car driving. You got to turn it down just a little bit. That's why I'm picking up on the back feed. Oh, better.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so check it out. Glad you're in your car driving. Glad you're being safe. Glad you're hands free. We've got a question for you. I'm here with Koi. Koi, say what's up to Brittany.
Hey, Brittany.
Hi. How are you?
Good.
In a breakup, who gets to keep the pet?
So I am currently in the middle of a breakup, and we're co-parenting.
Okay.
So
Okay. That's okay. Thank you, God. Okay.
So I think that if you, okay, here's the deal. If you buy the dog together, then I think, or a cat or whatever the pet is, and then I think that you should make a decision to co-parent together or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
switch off, if both of the parties want the pet.
Right.
Because how do you, what do you do? Pick straws of, who gets to keep the pet? I mean, now let's say one party bought the pet, without the other one, then I would say, okay, then it's their dog or cat, whatever.
Yeah.
But in the case of me, we were married and we had the dogs, and so it was agreed that we would kind of, treat them like kids. And
Right.
it's, in our agreement, there was, a whole, custody agreement.
Oh, that's
of the
good.
pet.
Hey.
Legal.
Hey. I've heard everything from it's whoever owns the house or the living establishment which the pet is registered under, or it's to me it's crazy. I did not realize people
Super
would be.
technical.
I didn't realize people would be this vengeful over an animal.
Well, I don't even know if it's okay, it is the animal for sure, but also it's that tie, I guess, that you ask them. It's kind of like when you're in the middle of a divorce and you're fighting over something so dumb like the TV or something, right? And
Yeah.
you go buy a new one. I mean, not saying that a pet is just like a TV, but
No.
it almost seems like it's just another thing to fight over.
So let me ask you this, then. Who do you think is more spiteful about the pet, the man or the woman?
Women being spiteful is true, but it's very overrated as well. Men are also spiteful, and there's just I think it's a close call, and it's probably even. I wouldn't say one over the other.
Okay.
But there's some petty ass guys out there.
Oh yeah, boy. Yeah, I know some petty kings out there.
That's right.
But let me ask you this then. Sorry for cutting you off.
Okay.
When do you think a couple should get a pet together?
So, that's a good question too. I mean, me and my ex got our first pet 6 months into the relationship.
Wow.
So, yeah. So I can't even talk about, you have to wait so long.
Yeah.
It's 6 months in. So, I mean, I just think whenever, but you know what? We were kind of both we had moved in together too. So maybe that's a little bit different.
Okay. Okay.
We moved in together and we were like, hey, we should get a dog. Never talked about breaking up because we were still in that honeymoon phase,
yeah.
where that's the last thing you talk about.
Mhm.
But, it did work out for a really long time. So it wasn't like it was a horror story. But
Right.
I think if you're living separate and you're just dating, it kind of ends up being one person's dog over the other.
Yeah. Okay.
So, if you're dating and you aren't cohabitating and, the guy has the dog and, the guy brought the dog home, but the girlfriend's over there all the time, yeah, she feels like it's hers too, but in reality, it's not really her dog.
Interesting. And what if the dog is...
dog staying over there?
Huh?
A lot. Unless the dog is staying over, at the girl's house a lot, and,
Yeah.
he has the dog, sometimes she does, and then they break up, okay, then share the dog. But if he has the dog and the dog's over there all the time, it's his dog. It ain't hers.
Mm.
But after a breakup, the word share is just not that easy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. Sharing is like unheard of. That's it. Because, you hate them usually. So anything that you can do to get back at them.
Yeah.
Or to make their life a little bit more difficult.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you this then. Man, lost my train of thought. Oh, okay. If the pet is gifted, if it was a gift, where does it lie?
One of them got it. The dog is like, let's say that the man surprised the woman with the dog for Christmas or something one year, like
exactly.
that.
Yes.
It's still their dog. I mean, if they cohabitate, it's their dog, I think. But if man surprised woman with a dog and they don't live together, it's her dog.
Okay.
He gave it to her.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I like that.
There is some fine print here. There's caveats all over the place.
Bruh, you have no idea. I really didn't think that this would be like, I thought people were better than this. Like, okay, the dog has always, I've always taken care of the dog. I've always walked the dog. Me and the dog have a bond. He's just there to protect you at night, and to make you feel safe. But this is, man's best friend. Like, this is John Wick. This is I Am Legend, like this is, what I'm saying? Will Smith walking the streets with his canine, like, but unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that's just being petty. Because, I mean, in reality, if that was the case, right?
Yeah.
And this woman's like, no, I still want the dog. I don't care. Like, that's super immature. Because, I mean, in reality, is she really going to, take the dogs on walks?
Really?
Do everything to take care of it the best she can? I mean, that kind of is sad for the dog.
Yeah.
Whoever was doing a good job
selfish.
taking care of the dog should probably keep the dog.
Let me ask you this then.
Yeah.
Do you think that people love the animals that they have at their house more than their children?
If someone has children and they have animals, do I think?
Yes.
No, because most of the people I know are like, oh, I don't have children. So,
wait. What did you just say? Sorry.
What did you just say? You broke up. We couldn't hear you.
I said I don't have children.
Can
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I don't have children, so I always equate my love for my dogs like children, and all my friends correct me, and they're like, absolutely not. No way. Absolutely not. A child is not like a dog. They love their kids.
Interesting.
Forget about the dog once you have your baby.
I don't know about that.
I mean, have you been?
Oh, she's in a bad area.
Yeah, you're in a bad area. Hey, Brittany, I'm gonna call you later because I feel like you're in a bad area and you keep cutting out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. No, I appreciate you for coming on just for a little bit though. Thank you so much. Seriously.
Okay, have a good one.
All right, bye.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
I knew Brittany didn't have Verizon.
Coy. Come on, Coy. Hey, put that down. Come on, man. Jeez. Man. All right, let's call Red. Because I like Red's dog. I actually
She's a big dog, right?
Yeah, boxer. Let's see if she picks up.
Hello? Oh.
Yep. Red, what's up? How you doing?
Barely hear you.
You could barely hear me? Better? Hello? Am I better? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Oh, got you.
Okay, perfect. Here with Coy. Coy, say what's up to Red.
What's up, Red?
Hey, Coy. Oh, I missed the applause. All right, got it. Hi.
Oh, yeah. No, you got the applause. The applause was there. Yeah, the applause was there. Yeah, don't worry. Michael, first of all, how's my man's doing?
Okay, so he's all right.
Okay. Oh,
He's all right.
Red and what is his name?
G.
Huh?
G, just like the letter G.
Oh,
My
G.
ex-boyfriend tried to name him Gucci, and I thought that was a horrific name, so I started calling him G, and
Okay.
it's got
Okay. So, what happened with you and G? Because Coy doesn't know. I didn't tell him.
Oh, all right. Koi, all right. Don't judge me too harshly. There are two factors at play here. One, I am a klutz. Two, my dog is a klutz. So I was flipping his Chewy for him, like tossing it up. You know how you flip a water bottle?
Yeah.
I was flipping his Chewy like that for him, and he was trying to catch it before I caught it, and it totally poked him in the eye.
Oh.
So he's had on an eye patch for the last day and a half,
Wow.
and he's been getting babied.
Yeah.
He's been getting babied.
Yeah.
I took out the chitlins from the insides of the chicken that I'm making for us in 2 days.
Oh yeah.
All
Oh
right.
yeah. She's cooking for us. Coy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and boiled it up and fed it to him
Nice.
all these couple of days. So he's
Yeah.
happy.
Oh yeah.
Take
Do you
that.
give him ice cubes? Sorry, I'm so
He
curious.
doesn't like ice cubes.
No.
No.
No dog should. That's a fake treat. Give me an ice cube.
Coy's real upset about that.
That is
too.
a fake treat.
Right? Yeah, no, he looks at it straight up like it's a fake treat too.
Yeah.
Actually, so the internal, my dog's really picky. He's very spoiled.
Mm.
So
Sounds about right.
you know how you can just feed some dogs like raw meat, like you can just throw them a liver and they eat it.
Yeah.
No, his has to be fried up with like garlic and salt.
Only the best.
Yeah, I see him putting on. I see him putting on his bib before.
Well, you being the cook
Yeah.
that you are,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
What
Hey,
else could he expect?
Hey, I see the raw. I am loving every photo you post of your raw vegan diet
Oh,
that
my
you are going
cleanse.
through. Yeah, your cleanse, your 2-week cleanse you're
Yeah.
going through. Like you even make me want to
Definitely
try
good
it.
stuff.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. If you could put those recipes together, like I was down to try. I'm like, damn, this thing looks delicious.
I should actually and will probably make some. I'm collecting all of the stuff that I'm doing. I'm keeping all the recipes that I'm borrowing from other people, and I'll be
Yeah.
able to cite those if I write something up. But
You
I
should.
think I might actually, maybe just like a little blog or something.
Yeah, that thing looked beautiful. Every time I see her
Photo
cook.
book? You make one of those photo cooking books.
Yeah, seriously, a little quick something. Okay, sorry about that. Let's get back to the conversation. So me and Coy have been talking about in a breakup, who gets the pet?
Well, I got the pet in mind because I was more suited to take care of a pet.
Okay.
Did you guys buy it together?
and technically, he bought it.
So were you guys together when?
I mean, we made the decision together, but he paid for it.
I got you.
Okay.
But you
He
took,
really wanted a puppy.
but you took care of him more than he
Yeah.
did.
Correct. I took care of him and trained him and everything. So when I left, the dog came with me.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Like, yeah, because money shouldn't matter if you don't take care of the dog. Just because you buy him and you don't
Right.
take care of him.
Okay.
Absolutely. That was my buddy. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. He liked him and, I'm sure, but I was better suited for taking care of him.
Okay.
I made the time to do the walks. I made the time for the dog parks. I did the vet appointments and everything else. So
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
so next question then. Let me ask you this then. When do you think it's appropriate for a couple to get a pet together?
that is a good question because I truly believe that on top of the business that we were running together totally killed our relationship, but we were young.
Coy, put that down. Coy does not believe couples should get a pet until after marriage, I believe.
After marriage or after move in. But that's brings me to my next thing. If you're gonna move in, it better be a few years.
Yeah, see, we were moved in. We were together for like a year and we decided to get one.
Ooh, shooting off the
We
hip.
were young. I think I was like 24, 25, and he was like 22, 23. We were young.
Okay.
That was my dog now? Yeah, that's about right.
Damn. I don't
Wait, that's the dog you have right now?
Yeah, that's the dog I have now.
Okay. So when it came time to decide, he was coming with you. Like, how did your ex take it? Did you
He
guys
wasn't
ever?
happy about it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he did try to argue about it, but it was just like we're not even discussing this type of situation for me.
Women.
He did try to act like actually
always-
for a little while. No, I know some men that take the dogs, but for a little while after, he used to like babysit him and stuff for me.
Oh, okay. So you did a little co-parenting.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, I like that. Now, let me ask you this: would you have continued with the co-parenting, or do you feel like that would have affected your future relationships?
Definitely could not have continued with the co-parenting. I do think that affects future relationships. And once I was ready to move on in the dating area, or like right before then, I decided to cut that off and just start utilizing other resources, either other friends or boarding, if I needed to have somebody watch my dog.
Interesting. Why?
Because I think that leaves the door open. A familiarity that shouldn't be there if you're looking to move on.
See that, Chris? Cut
Interesting.
the tie.
Cut
The tie.
Koi said my ties. Like, I got too many ties hanging up in the closet that I haven't cut.
How many pets have you passed out?
No. I've never passed out a pet. I almost got a pet with an ex, but Koi's little chime wouldn't let me get the pet with said woman when we were together because of. I'm pretty sure, like I said, like I feel like if I got a pet, I'd be overprotective. I'd get it health insurance. I'd do like, I would be that guy. You know what I'm saying? I'll be that guy at the dog park. Like, get your pet away from mine. Like it's here.
I do that,
It's here for.
actually.
Yeah, it's here for himself. Like he's an introvert. He doesn't like to play with others. Like
Dog has corona.
You're silly.
yeah, I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? He's antisocial, he does his own thing. And no offense, that's probably why I don't have a pet, because he would be.
I mean, it definitely would have ended your relationship quicker if this is not a relationship you're already in. It's just like parenting. Because if you're not discussing parenting roles before you get a pet, you also have to think about like what type of pet people have. Like some people let their pet up on their bed without, like my dog has a blanket. If his blanket is not out, he is not allowed on my furniture.
And he knows that?
Furniture. And he knows that.
Oh.
Yeah. So like some people let their pets up in their sheets. I don't believe in that because I don't want dog hair in my eye in the middle of the night.
No. That's a no-go.
That's my preference. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Does the ex ever hit you up? Hey, could I take him out for a little walk?
Damn.
I moved states, so no.
Damn, Koi always with some bullshit. I'm sorry.
Do you miss
But
me?
you know what? If I was still in Texas, I firmly believe that at some point in the past 3 years, he would have.
He would have hit you up. Hey, let me FaceTime the dog real quick.
How's she treating you? She okay? She doing a good job taking care of you?
Let me see. Hey, what's that? What's that on his mouth?
It's that way in.
Ah,
See that? If you
so
cut
he
the-
could double
if
back.
If you cut the tie, there's no way in.
Oh, he can't double back.
Can't.
Dang.
Can't double back. I moved states. Actually, he tried though.
Oh,
He's
see?
totally come out here and visited and everything.
Hey, I told you. Persistency is the key. Oh man. Okay. So you don't recommend. Let me ask you this: what do you recommend for people that want to get a pet? Couples that do want to get a pet.
What kind of pet?
I recommend that. Oh, any kind of pet.
No. What do you recommend them to do first before they get a pet?
Oh, so I would say at least one of them needs to be able to take care of the pet full time if the situation ends. Because I think that's just irresponsible.
Safety.
If neither one, you know what I mean? Like if your relationship ends, if this pet now no longer has a home, like that's awful.
Yeah, no. There was a written agreement with one of our callers that had a pet. Like
Good.
if said, relationship should pass X, Y, and Z.
Good.
Oh wow, I didn't know that was a thing.
It should be a thing.
Huh?
Just be
I said I didn't
responsible.
know that was a thing. Okay, well I didn't know. Koi, relax.
I mean, it definitely should be a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a thing to put in writing. I mean, like that's like you really don't trust your other person,
Hey, bro.
you know.
That's like I
I
told
guess you gotta
Koi.
do what you gotta do.
I told
And
Koi
hey, you know
that's
what? Some of
man's
those
best
dogs are
friend.
like $10,000.
Huh?
Yeah, some of it's more about the financial too. Some of those dogs
Oh,
are fucking
yeah.
expensive, and the exes get petty. I know people with $10,000 dogs that their exes have actually literally tried to fight them for, like take them to court and everything.
Yep. And
I got a homegirl whose
Mental deep.
ex-husband is claiming it in the divorce. The
Damn.
The dogs he got her, like it's.
Hey, little side note. Have her deemed a what do you call that dog?
Emotional.
Yeah, an emotional support pet.
She already did.
Oh yeah, she got it. Yeah,
because we need regulations on those emotionals.
I'm just letting you know she has the pet now. Like it doesn't matter what courts he goes through because it's deemed emotionally support. It's for her well-being.
Come on, people. Let's not be petty about this. A pet is like super emotional attachment. If you are not fit for the pet, don't take it out of spite. Come on. My only advice
people do that shit to kids too. Why don't you think they would do it to pets? People out there are crazy, man.
Do you think people love their pets more than their kids?
But dogs are well behaved and sorry.
Jesus.
Well, apparently there is one person that would love their pet more than their child.
Oh my gosh. All right. I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you. And, you got 2 more days left on the raw vegan diet?
Yep, today and tomorrow.
Ooh, okay.
Thursday is chicken.
Ooh.
When are we eating? When are we eating your stuff?
Yeah.
Thursday or Friday, whichever day you guys want to come pick it up.
Oh shit! Don't threaten me with good time. Send the address. Send Natty. Curbside. Hey, I'll sit on the curb and eat it outside in front of your house.
With your dog.
Yeah, with your dog. Take him for a while, couple laps around the block. All right, I appreciate you.
All right, y'all. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's get a couple. Let's get a couple.
A couple. They got something to lose.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Here
we go. Yeah. Here we go. Okay. Yep. Let's get them.
Hello. What's going on?
Not much, man. I'm here with Coy. How are you doing?
Good. Driving home from picking up some steaks.
Oh, okay.
What kind of steaks?
Okay, yeah. Oh.
Ribeyes, buddy. Ribeyes.
Ooh,
that's what I'm talking.
That's what I'm
talking
about.
Hey, you know he only eats prime, right? He doesn't eat that choice.
He don't eat that choice.
That prime.
You don't go with the choice. You gotta pick the right
He's
choice.
bougie like that.
Oh, he bougie like that. Okay.
Very.
He needs that marble.
Okay.
Yep.
Shoot. Let me ask you this. Me and Coy here. We're talking about animals and we're talking about pets. And let me ask you this. Before you get home and entertain the wife and whatnot. Is the wife in the car?
No, she's at the house.
Okay, nice. Okay.
Let's get to the real topic we want to talk about. I'm just kidding.
Okay. So let me ask you this. In a breakup, who gets the pet?
All right. Well, it depends on 2 things. One, when did y'all get the pet? Right? Like, I had a dog before I knew her, so I'm keeping my dog.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, but what if
we got the dog together?
Yeah.
So if we get the dog together, it's whoever treats him best.
See that?
Who does he love?
Oh.
So what do you do? A little, hey, come here. And then whoever they come to, and then it's that simple.
You stand about 10 feet away from them on one side, 10 feet away on the other side, and then
is that how they do it in the court of law? Is that how they do it in the court of law?
Hey, whoever he comes to, that's who he's rolling with. He made his choice.
In the court of law, who's dwelling?
If it was a cat, she could have it.
What happens if you guys early in the relationship were irresponsible, by the way, and got a pet together? And
that's super responsible. Yeah.
Okay, and then you weren't even living together, but you kind of the dog will go here and the dog will go there, and then you guys break up. Who does the dog go to?
Ooh, I think it's the same scenario.
Whoever treats him better.
Whoever treats him better. Because like if party A never walks the dog, then why do you get the dog? So if I'm the one that walks him all the time, he's rolling with me.
Because he loves me. I need him for protection.
Because party B might be spiteful, just to keep it away from party A.
That too.
Exactly. Now, in a spiteful situation, then that's a different scenario. Then we have to have a different conversation. But
that's right.
Really?
But for sure, let the dog choose. That's what I say.
Okay. Let me ask you this. When do you think a couple should get a pet? And let me ask you this. Do you and your wife have an animal together?
We will define together.
When did you buy that thing? Before
Any
her?
pet that I have, every pet I had was before her and vice versa. We haven't gotten anything.
So no matter what, you walking away with them.
Yeah, that's what I said. And then I might walk away with one of hers. Like and I actually told her that earlier when I showed her this question. I said, this is an easy question for me. You take your dog, I take my dog, and then I take that one cat.
Wait, you guys got a cat when you were together?
No, it was her cat before, but the cat loves me.
What about that money she put in, though?
Yeah.
Hey, that's all right. Love is
love.
There's no cost. Love don't cost a thing.
She gonna send you a receipt? You gonna pay for it?
No, there's no paying. Just come with me.
Oh man.
but I do think that like when it comes to buying a pet together, I think you should be on the page of working towards getting married. I think if you're just in like a
thank you.
Okay.
AKA not irresponsible.
Right.
Okay.
Like if you've been together for a year and you're like, let's get a dog, that's dumb. That's a dumb scenario. If you've been together a few years and you guys are already talking marriage and maybe even engaged, I think it's great to have a dog. Sometimes you shouldn't even get a dog until you're married, but that's a whole nother scenario. Like it's all timing. Like you don't want to have a dog when you're about to have a baby. Like that's stupid also.
Okay. Does a dog come first before a baby to see how well you guys do with parenting?
That would be a good practice. Is what I would say. Based on my experience, I would definitely get a dog. You get a dog after you get a baby, then you want to make sure your baby's of a certain age because dogs do take up a lot of time and a lot of attention.
Didn't you have pets before your oldest one though, or no? I've had no dogs before my oldest one. Well, I did, but like I don't have any of them anymore. But right,
like my oldest dog is 13, and I got him right before my youngest was born. So I can say with certainty that having a dog and a baby is rough.
Did you feel bad? Did you feel bad? You're like, damn, I can't even show him some love.
Yeah, no, like because all your time is spent with the baby, and especially when the dog's a puppy. You know, you got a puppy. And you got a baby, it's like having two babies. So you got one crapping on the floor and one crapping in the diaper.
Oh, damn.
So I know the first couple of years for Sam, it was rough.
Usher in the rain. It
was like, damn, you bought me and you're gonna have a baby? Fuck you.
He's all. Hold on. He's all, you don't got time for me? Nah, dude, I gotta rock this baby to sleep.
Jesus.
I'm your baby.
I'm the only one.
So that's the route I would go.
Diaper.
Exactly, but I got to pick up the crap off the floor you poop.
Damn.
So that would be the route that I would go. Definitely, if you're gonna have a pet before a kid. That way, you've had your dog, and your dog is like, he knows what's going on. You have a baby first. Wait a while to have a dog. You don't want two people crapping on your floor.
He's not worried about the love or anything. He's just worried about the crap on the floor.
Yeah, sounds like spoken like a true gentleman. All right, man. I'm gonna let you go. I know you got the steaks in the house and everything going on. I appreciate you for picking up and tapping in, my guy. Thank you so much. Man.
Thanks a lot, y'all. Have a good one.
Later.
All right,
bye.
That's some. He's got some knowledge.
It sounds like it, bro.
He's a veteran.
Hey, it sounds like you're vetting the game. Sounds like he didn't play some years in the league.
He said her cat would go to him because he loves him more. See, that's a tricky subject because like it did not belong to him before.
Yeah, exactly.
That's gonna have to hash out between you.
She ain't giving up that cat, bro.
All the judge is gonna hear is that cat was mine before.
Yep.
Court is adjourned.
And now he's singing "Missing You."
Yeah.
All right, let's hit another dude up. Since we did get a couple, let's hit another dude up. Where's John? Let's hit John. Oh gosh. Here he is. All right, let's see if he picks up. Yeah, got the prime on deck. Got the prime steaks. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh man, how we doing, my guy?
Yeah, this is my favorite part of the day, man.
Well, I'm here with Coy. Coy said, "What's up, John?"
What's up, John?
What's up, my man?
All right.
Oh man, what you up to, man? I heard the doorbell. What we got going on? Who's delivering what?
Oh, I just turned on no, I actually just turned on a Zoom meeting. I'm in class right now.
It really is a favorite part of your day.
Yeah,
I'm multitasking over here.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I
got Ozark in the background too. So.
Oh, you on season 3?
Dude, I just started this. I'm on episode 3.
Okay.
I'm late. I'm late to the game, bro.
Nah, bro. You just in time. That means you could binge. So don't worry. You just gonna have a lot of sleepless nights.
I got nothing better going on.
Exactly. All right, man. Me and Coy got a question for you. We've been asking this around town and everything. In a breakup, who gets the pet?
Oh man, that's. I guess it depends. Mainly, I guess it depends on if it was a gift.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you an example. A buddy of mine, one of my best friends, he bought his ex. Obviously, they were together at the time. He bought his ex a Lab Retriever puppy for Christmas or her birthday. I think it was Christmas. And since it's a gift, you can't take back a gift regardless what it is. I mean, unless it was like technically registered in your name, like it was a car or something like that.
I mean, you got to get the puppy registered. So I'm
that's true. That's true. But I don't know how he did all that. But yeah, she ended up taking it. I mean, she does take care of the dog, which is cool, and the dog's fine. But yeah, he was bummed out about it, and but it was a gift, and he manned up about it and was like, "Yo, it was a gift. I gotta give it to her." So he's just turning around and getting his own. So,
Coy, I bet you he took it to the park. He walked it. He woke up, fed it, took it out at night, before, after, threw the ball around. That dog probably went everywhere with him. I Am Legend.
That's right.
Oh my God.
That dog probably went everywhere with him, bro.
That was probably the worst dog moment ever.
Bro, nah. John Wick.
Oh my God, man! You know what? I heard Marley and Me is rough, but I refuse to watch it because of that. I'm not watching that movie.
Nobody should watch that.
I'm not watching that movie.
Nobody should watch that, bro.
But yeah, I mean, and then obviously, if you go into a relationship with a pet, that's your pet. It's either theirs or your pet or whatever.
100%.
Yeah, but if it's not a gift though, and you just both agree to get one, then I don't know how you settle that other than whose house it lives at.
Boom. Thank you.
Unless, I mean, I've heard of couples that have like a custody type thing of their dog.
Yeah, bro. I had 2 people hit me up about court cases that they had with the dog.
Believe it.
Where the woman went behind his back and deemed it as an emotional support dog. And got it because of that. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I think I heard of one. I forget who did it, but I heard of one where I think it was actually the girl. The girl was a friend of mine, and she had the dog or got the dog from his house and chipped it under her name.
Oh.
She was so savage about it. Like,
I told you.
She straight swindled the dog out of the house and chipped it under her name.
Damn, I told you. Or and also in the court, say she moves into your place, but y'all get a dog together. The dog resides at your house because you are the sole owner of the house. You get to keep the dog no matter what.
Right.
If you want
and I would imagine it would still hold up even if you're like renting it or whatever. Like if it's if you're the one on the lease, then it's your place.
That is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I've they my buddy and his chick, the one he bought the dog for, they fought over it, because he obviously wanted to keep the dog, but ultimately he was just like, you know what, it's a gift, and it's just like giving her giving her whatever else, like you gotta just, it was a gift, period. Mm-hmm. So he honored that, but yeah, he's getting his own now. It looks identical to the other one.
Oh, damn. Never be the same. All right, let me ask you this then. When should couples get a dog or a pet, shall say, pet?
Oh, man.
And do you have any experience?
I got close.
Boy.
It was I actually probably, in retrospect dodged a bullet that way, but or for not getting one. But me and the last chick that I was officially dating, we almost got a dog after like 2 days of knowing each other. we hit it off that I swear to God, we hit it off that great. I mean, not within 48 hours of knowing her, but of like physically spending time with her, because she ended up spending that whole first weekend with me, and we, for whatever reason, thought it was a good idea to go to the pound and check out dogs, and we got that close to getting a dog, and the only reason we didn't go home with this one particular puppy was because someone had beat us to it like 15 minutes before we got there.
Oh, you better call that person and thank him right now.
Should have bottled champagne.
I know.
Koi 48.
Yeah, and I mean, it ended up working out, because obviously we're not together anymore. But I also wouldn't have had a place for the dog either in my new living situation. So it kind of worked out, Exactly. So
you said 48
months, as far as like when's a good time to actually get one, I would say, God, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe 8 months to a year, something like that. I mean, it just depends on how good you feel about the relationship. Like,
are we moving?
Obviously, if you live together, if you live together is one.
Yeah, Koi says you got to have that marriage talk before the dog.
I mean, that's a fair point. I mean, unless you just, it's like we were talking about a second ago. There's couples that, they call it off, but they're both still cool at the end of it, and they just split time with the dog. Like some people are cool about it, and some people go to war over it. Everybody's different, man. That's a tough call, to be honest with you. It just depends on how you feel about that person and how secure you feel in your relationship, I guess. And then your living situation has everything to do with it also.
100%.
So,
see, okay. I appreciate the living.
We automatically bring it to dogs, right? Because that's about as top as it gets as a pet.
Yeah.
And responsibility wise,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, cats are for people who don't want the responsibility of a pet.
Yeah. I mean, cats are self-sustaining animals.
They don't even like you.
Yeah, exactly. What are you doing with one of them?
It's crazy. But, and then I guess the one other situation I could think of would be if you're dating someone, but let's say she doesn't live with you and the dog has to be at your spot, you get to pick the dog.
Oh, that's your dog.
Oh yeah, that's your dog.
Your dog's gonna automatically know. He'd spend more time.
Like why should she have it? Like why should she have any say in the dog? And then vice versa. If she's the one holding on to the dog and you don't live with her, she picks the dog. So you might get a rat dog out of it. You don't know.
Yeah. Damn.
Like you might get a Yorkie out of it.
Hey man, I don't know who has one, but leave them alone.
Those little dogs alone. Man,
jeez, I never thought about that. Damn.
Yeah, I'm team big dog from here on out, man. I just lost a little lap dog a little while ago, so I'm going like full Great Dane next or something.
Hey, you know what? I heard Great Danes are great apartment dogs, though. So
I've heard that.
Yeah. No. Okay. Another question, real quick, for you. How was I gonna word this? Man, dropped out of my. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Do you think that people love their pets more than their kids?
Oh man, I have no doubt that there's certain cases where that's probably totally accurate, but fortunately, in my personal experience, I can't think of anybody who comes to mind off the top of my head.
Right.
I hope I never do, to be honest with you.
Right.
I definitely think like the responsibility of a kid, far outweighing that of a dog.
Yeah, 100%.
Some people just aren't cut out to be parents, and they are anyway. You know what I mean? And because almost anybody can handle a dog, but you gotta be mentally and emotionally ready to do the parent thing. And some people get into it too early, or some people just shouldn't be one at all. And that's totally different from doing the dog thing, because like a puppy and a baby, the puppy basically does its own thing once you get it potty trained. Like you're basically good after that.
Yeah.
A baby, you got
18
keep your eye on that. Keep your eye on that kid for at least like the first 5-6 years. You know what I mean?
Plus.
Right. So I hope I never come across somebody like that, but I have no doubt that there's people that are.
That's crazy. Damn.
So,
all right, man. I appreciate you. I'm gonna let you get back to class, my guy. I thank you again.
Oh man, you're not distracting me at all. I promise you. We can do this all you want.
Oh man, I appreciate you, my guy. I'll hit you up later.
All right, man. Good talking to you.
All right,
he tells everybody on the podcast, pipe down. I've been on a Zoom meeting at work.
I know in class.
Pipe down.
Hey Zach, lower your voice, bro. I'm on a podcast right now, bro. Oh, man.
You can have a kid on accident, but you can't really have a dog on accident, right? You went out to get a dog on accident.
I don't think you have a kid on accident either, bro.
Oh, come on.
Hey, bro, you can't. To me, that's not an accident.
That's what, irresponsibility?
Or God's will. Yeah, I'll let you choose. So, hey, man, let's call my boy B. See how he doing. Let's see what he up to. Yeah, B. Well, what's up, man? You here on the podcast with me and Coy. Coy, say what's up to B.
What up?
What up?
First of all, take me off a speaker.
Oh.
Yeah. No worries. It's okay. Yeah. Hello? Yeah. Can you give me 10 minutes of your undivided attention?
No, you got it.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so me and Coy been asking this question around. I'm hitting you up. You the last caller, pretty much. Glad you picked up. Thank you again. In a breakup.
When do I ever not?
I'm just saying I appreciate you, my guy. First of all, I'm saying I appreciate you, my guy. So in a breakup, who gets the dog or pet, shall I say? Sorry.
Oh, that's it's kind of tough, man. I mean, I'll give you my perspective in what happened with me.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, so, with my ex, it just kind of like we bought the dog together, but it was her idea at first. And then we ended up getting another one. So there's 2 dogs.
So times 2?
We didn't agree with the second. It was 2 dogs. We got one pit bull, and then she wanted a playmate for him. And then the reason I was like at first against it, but then she's one of those, it's like, oh, this is all I want. Why can't you do this to me? I'm like, okay, gosh, here we go. So got into that argument, and then it's like finally I just kind of like let her have it. But the problem is, like, I know she just wants the freaking dog, but she's not all there for the responsibility. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of like, I knew what it was ahead of me. Like I knew what I had to do. So it's like, because I was the one who was taking care of the dogs in the beginning, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
So I knew I'm the one who's going to have to train. I'm the one who's going to have to do that. So that's why I knew it was going to be tough on me. And then I was like, no, this is not a good idea. But then she still had to have it her own way. So I ended up getting it to her anyways. But honestly, the first dog was, it was kind of both of us, mutual. The second one was all her. I wasn't really good. But then obviously when you go to get a dog, it's just like you fall in love with the dog. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's nothing like, oh, like this is your dog. No, this is our dog. Eventually. But the problem was like when I moved out, and it was her house, and I couldn't really split the dogs up, right? I wasn't going to do that. Okay. That's not fair to the dog because they have a really good friendship.
Thank you.
The dogs themselves have a huge friendship. So like it'll be really like really bad for the dogs because, when we take one to the freaking vet, the other one's crying at home. Like we'll watch it on, on the security cameras, just howling and that's how separation anxiety they have, with their own dog.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to do that. But at the same time, like if I had the capabilities of bringing the dog to my house, I would fight for it. But at the same time, I'm just like, she has kids. The kids love him. I just kind of like, let her have it. And in the same sense, like it wasn't like she wasn't going to let me not come by and spend time with them. So like, if I ever wanted to go hang out with the dogs, I was able to. So
okay.
I really don't think there's like it all depends on the breakup too, right? Because if it's a bad breakup, I can completely see somebody just be like, you know what? It's like, I'm taking the dog, fuck you, I'm going to fight for it and all this shit. It's like, but it all depends on how bad the breakup is, to be honest. But I don't think you just kind of got to come to like, just kind of like a divorce, right?
Mm-hmm.
Either you can go the divorce the bad way, custody battle and all that stuff, or you just come to an agreement within each other and then you work it out. It's just same scenario with the dog. You just have to treat the dog as like your own child, and then you make it work. I mean, if I was to take it to battle, I would lose in a way because my name wasn't any of the dog's paperwork. So like when you went to the
the vet was under mainly her name. My name was on there, but like the insurance was under her name. So like there's a lot of things that I looked up. I was like, there's no point of it. You know, like if I can have visitation with the dogs, if I can take them to the, you know, park and do, you know, spend time with them, you know, and even when I go by her house, you know, she, because of, you know, who I have to go see Kaya and stuff. So like even when I go see her, like, you know, the dogs come out, I get to hang out with them, and, you know, I even take them for a walk, and, you know, I still do the.
So you get to co-parent with the animals.
He was mature about it. Logically, he thought about overall.
Yeah.
Exactly. I didn't think about like, oh, you know what, fuck her. I'm gonna, you know, whatever it takes for me to, you know, screw her over and not have her way. No, I'm not. First of all, I'm not that type of person.
Yeah.
You know, like that just brings just putting more fire to the fuel. I mean, more fuel to the fire than anything, right? Like if the breakup is enough, you don't need to put anything more into it, you know, than what it is already. You just have to trying to be more civil at that point, you know, because
gotta move on.
Because
peacefully.
I mean, like, gotta move on. Just, you know, and if you have the visitation time and all that stuff, you feel okay with it, then that's all that really matters, honestly. So all in all, I think, you know, it comes down to the breakup. Some people that I know that, you know, just gives up the dog to the other person, you know, just like, fuck you, I don't care. This was your idea anyways. Here, you can take it. I don't care about it. So they're going that person. So
okay.
I mean, I don't know what has other people said.
Oh, you know, man, I we had 2 court cases. We had
court cases, really.
Oh, bro, one went behind the other dude's back, listed it as an emotional support dog, so that way it affected her well-being. And the other one, luckily, she moved into his house, so when they got the registration papers, it was under the house name, which he solely owned without her, so that was the dog's residence, and that's how the court. Yeah, bro, dog is crazy. And then
so none of them fought back.
No. You couldn't. You fought back, but that was the end result of it.
With the judge,
that was the judge. That was the judge. Hammer. Yeah, that was what the judge deemed.
Wow. I mean, I just don't. I mean, man, it had to be a really bad breakup. I'm assuming, right? Both of the breakups are really bad.
I mean, it doesn't matter if both people want the dogs. They gon', you know what I'm saying?
If it gets to court, then you know,
it is what it is. You know, unfortunately. Right. But let me ask you this.
You know,
go ahead. No. Go ahead. So
my other thing is, like, it also comes down to the happiness of the dogs too, right? Because me and Pierre looked at it this way. We look at it like, okay, if I come over, I get to see them, and they're happy. They're happy at home. They're always fed. The kids are there, so the dogs are happy. At the end of the day, you kind of got to think about, like, okay, what's best for the dogs, right? And then if you're looking in a divorce, what's best for the kids? That's what the ultimate thing is, right? You gotta make sure that it's not their fault, right? So you have to kind of look at the same perspective. That's how I looked at it. Right. I was like, if we getting both what we wanted, you know, then it's great. Like I still go, you know, she'll help me out, be like, hey, I need some dog food. Can you help me out? I was like, yeah, no problem. So I'll just go buy them. So we take turns on buying the dog food too, and treats and etc. So, you know, like we'll buy it. I'll buy it one time, and then, you know, that'll go for like 2-3 weeks, and then she'll buy it next time. So we rotate back and forth on that too. See what I'm saying? So, you know, we try to keep it more mutual than anything. So, I mean, sometimes she complains like, hey, can you take the dogs out? You know, like, but if I'm busy, I don't have time. Like, that's the only thing that sometimes that bothers me, is that I am not there, right? So it's easy for somebody come home and take the dog out for a walk, and then, you know, because you're already home, right? But you're there, that's your residence. But it's a different story when somebody has to go out their way to go do a walk the dogs over. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I understand that you haven't had a chance to walk the dog, but that you should be able to do that when you get home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have that time. Like, I don't have the time to fucking drive, you know, 20 minutes to your house and then walk the dogs, take care of the dogs, and then feed them and then come back. You know, I'll do it once in a while when you really can't do it. But, you know, like sometimes she gets kind of carried away with it. I was like, I had to put my foot down on that. I was like, look, can't do that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like
what you were saying with what's best for the kids or the dog, doesn't that go back to question 1 though, is how bad the breakup was? Because it won't really matter at the end, right? It'll just matter who wants possession out of spite.
No, yeah, you have a good point there too. I mean, but at the same time, like, even though that you can have a bad argument, I mean, a bad argument and then have a really bad breakup, but when it comes down to the kids, don't you just end up becoming like, you know, you
what's best?
You what's best occur, and you come down back to earth, right? You know,
I hope
that comes with maturity.
Like maturity, correct? Then you come down like, okay, look, this is stupid. You know, this is, what about the kids? You know, the kids are, you know, we never look at, we see our animosity towards each other, but this shouldn't affect the kids. That's not their fault. You know, then they're going to be as worried as like, oh, was it our fault? You know what I mean? So of course the dogs are not going to understand that, but then the dogs are going to be like, why is he not around? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure the dogs think that way too sometimes. Like,
I'm pretty sure they know.
You know, I'm pretty sure they know, you know what I'm saying? But like, but the thing is, but one thing about dogs though, they'll never forget their, you know, their alpha, right? I've always been, I'm no matter what going to be their alpha. That's for sure. You know, even though she thinks she is, but I'm always going to be the alpha. And that's because that comes from training. From day one, when you train, you become the alpha. It doesn't matter what the dog's not going to look at that. Like if I go into the house, you know, the dog will bow down to me more than anybody else. 100%. I will attest to that, because that comes down from your training and what you put into them, right?
Yeah.
Over a period of time. But if you get to a point where you kind of lose touch with them, then I can see that kind of getting away from them. But as long as you come, you know, every week or so, once a week, twice a week or whatever, you know, it's there.
So this leads me to my next question. When should a couple get a dog?
And how long were you guys together when you got one?
Yeah.
Ours were 2 years in.
Okay.
And
you guys were already living together or no?
3 years. Sorry, 3 years in.
3 years in.
3 years. About 2.5 to 3 years in. Yeah.
We
were already living together. Correct.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think it's really, you have to have a big conversation, even though when it comes to dogs, you get super excited about it. At first, I wasn't all about it. Like I don't think we were ready for it. Okay, as a family at the time, I don't think we were ready for it. It just happens to I was dating somebody who's very impulsive. So, you know, when she has to have it, she has to have it. You know what I'm saying? It's like I was like, let's wait another, you know, 6-7 months or a year. You know. So when we get the living situation properly, and then, you know, so like Tyler, you know, the kids are at a certain age and whatnot. So, I mean, everything is very important, because it's just because I look at it, I mean, yeah, I can look at it as myself being selfish, because I feel like I'm the one who's going to have to do a lot of the work. Right. But I also looked at it as like, I'm putting the burden on myself, right? If we get a dog, because I look at it, she's not home from 9 to 5, right? She's kids are gone at 8 o'clock in the morning. I work till 4 o'clock in the morning. So the dogs wake up at the same time the kids do. So that means I have to wake up at the same time, take care of the dogs, and I never get to sleep because I have to spend time with them throughout the day. So by the time they get home, guess what? I have to go to work. So I told her, it's like, we need to get to a better situation before we pull the trigger on getting the dog. But it got to a point where, you know, like, let's get him, you know, it's like, and then when you start talking about the dog, you're just like, man, it's like, that's a cute dog. And, you know, you just fall in love with the videos and the pictures. It was like, I'm not going to lie. Like the video that she got from Craigslist, I mean, we got the dog from Craigslist. The video that she showed it to me, I was sleeping. Like 10 o'clock in the morning. And then she comes and is like, babe, look at this video. And then she shows me a video. And I was like, the dog that I would ever want, the type of active personality that I wanted in a dog, was all portrayed in that video. As soon as I saw the video, the first thing I go to is like, why didn't you wake me up earlier? You know what I'm saying? Like, why'd you wait till 11 o'clock let's go get this dog? Why not wake me up at like 8? You know, so right away we went and picked him up, right? Like that day, and we didn't waste any time. So I mean, like, even your thought process of like, let's wait, it's never going to work when you finally actually see the dog and you seeing videos, and it just happens.
Now, hold on. Like, you said you were in 2 to 3 years living together, and you still had doubts in your mind. You still said, you know what, this is not a good idea, and it still happened. What advice would you give people or couples that, even sooner than that. They don't even live together within a year, and they still want to get a dog. What advice would you give them?
Wait, so if they've been together for 2 to 3 years?
No, that's you. You were together 2 to 3 years and lived together, and you still had doubts that this is a bad idea. Correct. What advice would you give the people that are like a couple months in, hey, let's get a dog together, don't even live together, just dating?
No, do not get a dog in. My thing is, because when you get a dog, okay, so when you live with a person, that's when you really know if that's the person that you're gonna live with.
Absolutely.
Right? Absolutely, right? So I know how she was with how tidy the house had to be and etc. Right? Mm-hmm. And I knew with her personality, bringing a dog into that environment at that time, I felt like it's gonna be chaos, and it was a chaos at first. But, I had to teach her in ways like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. You know what I mean? Because she's never had a dog in her life. And I've had multiple dogs. You know what I'm saying?
That's big.
So you have to understand, just getting a dog with one another. If both of you don't know any clue of getting a dog in the first place, really do your research. Really do your research. Because it's like having a kid, man. The biggest thing is insurance. Oh my God. You don't understand how vet bills are more expensive than a fucking kid. All right. The first 3 months, we spent at least $4,000.
Oh. Jesus.
First 3 to 4 months, easy. $4,000, easy. Just because the food allergies that he had to go through, and it's just one after the other, and then he got in
Gucci
5-6 months.
That Gucci bed that you bought.
Louis V dog collar.
But then when the dog started shitting everywhere in the house, and how they, and it was a brand new house too. We just moved.
Tidy house.
Yeah, it was a tiny house, but it was a tidy house, but it was also a new house. We just moved in, so the thing is, it's like you can't just, he didn't know how to respond to all that. So she was trying to hit the dog, and I was like, yo, whoa, calm down. You can't do all that. It's like, you want this dog to love you, right? It's like, well, you can't go and start, slapping on their back because they shit in the freaking, in the living room. It's like, guess what? That's what dogs do. They shit unless you train them where not to shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I told her one thing. I told him, I was like, one thing, remember, if a dog chews something that's important to you, that is not the dog's fault, that is 100% your fault.
You left it out.
Always remember that. Always remember that, because the dog has nothing else to do than whatever is in his way, he's going to freaking chew, right? So it's your responsibility to not leave that out there. If you leave it out, hey, guess what? I'm not going to blame the dog. The dog just being a dog. It's just like a freaking mother hitting a baby that's crying. The baby's crying because the baby's crying, because that's what babies do. Make sure you go hit the baby.
Oh,
what I'm saying?
Wait till they get older before you hit them. You can't.
Exactly. But what I'm saying, you see how many parents, how many moms hit their infant. You know what I'm saying, when they're crying because it's annoying or whatever. But it's the same scenario. The dog's doing what the dog's supposed to do. If you don't train them properly from the get-go, dog's gonna eat whatever thing's in his way, and he's gonna get a hand of it, and he's gonna freaking tear it apart. But if you don't put it out there, then it wouldn't have never happened. Then he'll find a toy that we give them, and then and so on and so on. But I tell the same thing. I was like, yo, it's all your fault. I'm like, I can't. Especially even with the kids leaving out stuff all the time, and that's another thing too. You got to be careful with the dogs, what they find on the ground. When you're cooking, you got to pay attention to everything, because for a child, if you have a kid, if a piece of onion falls on the ground while you're cooking, you're not have to worry about it, right? But when you're cooking, onion and garlic are one of the biggest no-nos for a dog. They can kill you, right? They can kill a dog. But people don't think about all that. So my advice to anybody that decides to get a dog, do your research first. Don't get the dog first, then do research after. Learn about what it takes to be a parent, a dog parent first, and then get a dog. Make sure you know how much it's going to cost. Vet bills are going to be expensive.
Yeah.
Get insurance. Look up insurance. Look at the cost of that.
Damn,
how does that? Yeah, how does that affect to your lifestyle in the sense of if you're paying bills together? You got to talk all that. You got to have that conversation before you just go and say, "Oh my God, that dog is so beautiful, so cute," like all that. I don't.
All right, last question real quick.
Sure.
Do you believe that some owners love their pets more than their children?
Fuck yes.
You seen it?
100%. I lived with one.
Oh, okay. All right.
100%.
Okay.
I think she had more love towards the dog than me and the kids.
Okay.
At one point, you'd be like, "Damn, I'm jealous of the dog." You know what I'm saying? You're like, "Man, the dogs are getting more attention than I do." Like the dogs are getting more attention than I do.
Damn.
It's sad because like I can say this. It's like okay, I'll put it in good perspective. You're supposed to know my birthday, right?
Yeah.
Right. If you're getting a gift, you should get the gift before the birthday and make it a surprise or have it ready for that birthday, what that day is, right?
Yeah.
I would say majority of the times my birthdays, gifts came after the day of the birthday.
Yeah.
Okay?
What about those
But when it came to the dogs, oh, bruh. The toys are there. The fucking cake that's actually made for the dog with their name on it. I mean, dog hats. 2 toys. I mean, the whole 9 yards.
Right,
do I need to send you pictures?
No.
I will send you videos. But I wish, I was like, damn, these dogs that, living better than I am. Like, I know. And then I'm like, damn, like, even the dogs got insurance more. They got medical insurance than I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, some dogs live great lives. But man. Absolutely. I 100% believe to this day, even, let's say, any person that gets with her again, I would say that, that dude is in 5th place. The 2 dogs and the 2 kids, and then it's him.
Did you flash your dog's 8 in a card?
What?
Never mind.
Corey just talking shit, man.
Yeah, I know, but 100% agree right on the money on that one.
Damn.
The owner, some girls just that way. I mean, not just girls, but it could be the other side of the story. So it could be guys too. Yeah,
we're saying it does.
But I think it's more on the female side than it is on the male side, though. I honestly believe that. For guys, like a dog is a dog. I mean, it's a best friend and whatever. But at the same time, a woman comes in.
I am legend.
I mean, that dog, that bond between me and the dog will never break apart. But doesn't mean that I'm gonna But doesn't mean that I'm not gonna attend to my woman. You know what I'm saying?
True. Yeah.
But it's the other way around. It's a completely different story. I believe it.
Shoot,
I was always fighting, man. I was always last place.
5th, yeah. All right, man. I'm gonna let you go, bro. I'm already hour 15 in. I appreciate you.
Go cool off.
Yeah, man. Have a glass of wine on me, man.
That part is, I just finished my workout, bro, and now I'm ready to go out again.
Oh man, I appreciate you as always, B, man.
All right, Chris. All right, cool.
All right, later, man. Take it easy.
Later, bro.
Woo, boy, he about to do another 5K, right?
So there are owners that love their dogs more than their kids.
Shoot, all right, Coy, hour 15 in, man. I want to thank everybody for listening. I can't thank y'all enough for championing this on. I am getting merch out there as fast as possible. I thank y'all enough. Quarantine season still in effect, but man, when we get out of here, we're going to have some fun. Coy, man, thank you again, my guy. As always, I appreciate you, and everybody else listening, thank you. If you're listening on Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, as well as downloading the app on the App Store, Men Don't Know Podcast app, straight to your phone. It's free. Listen to all the episodes, whatever you want. You never have to go in order. Just find something you like, put your headphones in, and tune everybody else out. I thank you guys again. All right, man, Corey, we out.
Right.
Who were you fucking last night? Like, that's how it was. Like, so in her mind, it wasn't even about the gambling. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't even about the gambling.
I was hella insecure.
Really? Cave in? No.
Oh, yeah, because we're always going to allow you to be the man, definitely in public and in private, but we're going to have these conversations in private. It's not for anybody else to know.
There's always a way to test somebody if you want to find out who they really are.
You are now listening to the Men Don't Know podcast.